Good evening, we are Tuesday 11th of December 2018. Here's a quick market update on the Brexit situation. Foreign exchange traders have been transfixed since the weekend by the fast shifting sands of Brexit, with the pound as usual bearing the brunt of market jitters. The pound fell by more than 1.5% yesterday, after Theresa May confirmed that she has abandoned hope of getting parliamentary approval for the withdrawal agreement she has negotiated with the EU. The vote planned for this evening has been pulled, and the UK Prime Minister is heading back to Brussels to seek a deal that is acceptable to a majority of MPs. The pound is at its lowest level since April 2017. Sterling fell to around $1.25 and to €1.11, hitting the value of UK-focused shares like house builders and airlines, but boosting overseas owners like Imperial Brands. That resulted in a much bigger fall for the FTSE 250 index yesterday than for the FTSE 100, which tends to be supported by a weaker currency. The FTSE 100 index now trades at about 6,830 points. On the UK bond market, the yield on gilts fell, pushing the value of UK government bonds higher, as investors grew more concerned about economic growth amid shorter odds on a no-deal Brexit. The yield on the 10-year UK government bond fell from 1.26% to 1.22% in less than 1 hour. In reality, traders are almost wholly in the dark about the likely direction of Brexit development in the wake of the cancelled parliamentary vote. All options from no deal to no Brexit and all stops in between remain possible. Rumours that the vote would be cancelled emerged mid-morning yesterday, as the government appeared to accept that any last hope of persuading waivers to back the withdrawal plan had disappeared over the weekend. The humiliating climb down was confirmed at 3:30 local time yesterday, when the UK Prime Minister made an announcement in the House of Commons to explain her decision. She said that she planned to travel to Brussels to try and persuade the EU to renegotiate the terms of the so-called backstop agreement, which was designed to prevent the return of a hard border between Ireland and Northern Ireland. And this has been the major sticking point among Brexiters, and the main reason Mrs. May was unable to gain the necessary support for a deal. Unfortunately, the EU has indicated that it is not willing to reopen negotiations. Yesterday's cancellation of the vote therefore looks like nothing more than kicking the can down the road. In other developments yesterday, the European Court of Justice confirmed its judgment that Britain could, if it chose, cancel its notification that it would be leaving the EU without the consent of other member states. And this raises the possibility that 2.5 years after the EU referendum, Britain may simply choose to stay in the EU. The two most likely solutions now look like being a soft Norway plus Brexit, which sees Britain remaining in the single market and customs union, or a second referendum. However, the default option, if nothing happens to change it, is a no-deal exit on the 29th of March next year. Well, that's all on this short topic. Speak to you soon. Goodbye.